Hello students, today we will discuss our next chapter, that is on education system. This is our chapter 4 of part 4 of chapter 3, okay, issues in development. Now if we before discussing this aspect of knowledge system, if we try to understand what are the difference or similarities between education and knowledge, then we can say that education is something which is acquired through formal process, and knowledge is something which is gained through informal process. For example, education can be acquired through school, colleges, universities, various educational institutions, and so on and so forth. But knowledge is gained from real life experiences, right? This is the difference between the two. Therefore, education is a process of gaining knowledge for some useful application, right? Where on the other hand, knowledge is certain facts acquired from good education, right? From peers, okay? And consultations and extensive reading, okay? So these are the process to acquire knowledge. Even if someone who doesn't have good education, good peers, for example, consultations, right, and extensive reading, the person or the individual can have knowledge, a good knowledge, okay, of any subject or any issue or any idea. Now, this is the first difference between the two. The second difference is that education is taught by someone. Okay, education, you cannot gain education by your own, but you have to have someone to teach you. Now, education, on the other hand, knowledge is always gained by oneself, and it is always self-driven. So, in a nutshell, if we try to summarize it, education is always a process of learning, and one comes to know various facts, ideas and theories through education. While on the other hand, knowledge is the application of these facts, ideas and theories. Okay, there are no set guidelines for it. We have various institutions to have knowledge, to have education, but we simply do not have any institution to have knowledge. Generally, universities, colleges, schools are known as the medium which give you knowledge, but generally it is a belief that many students get education, or they are generally be educated from some university or college or from some school. Knowledge, whether they have gained some knowledge, is altogether a different thing. Okay, so one has to be knowledgeable while getting education. This is generally a perceived and accepted notion everywhere. Okay. Generally, education has set rules, okay, regulations, curriculum. Knowledge simply do not have such boundaries. Knowledge can come from teachers, from parents, from your friends, from painful moment of life, from happy moment of life, from say small kids. Knowledge, you can gain knowledge from any source. Knowledge is not taught by anyone, but it is always acquired by self effort. So if you want to be, or if anyone want to be knowledgeable, he or she has to do some self efforts, okay, for this. So this is the main similarities and differences between the two. There is a just borderline difference between the two. Okay, knowledge is generally said that it is always gained from life experience. Okay, or even a kid can be more knowledgeable than say 40, 45 years or 55 or 60-year-old man or women. A kid can be more knowledgeable. So here we have to differentiate between education and knowledge. Yes, we have to believe that through education we try to acquire knowledge. We have just discussed it. Now, if we go beyond this criteria, let me give you a small example of Plato and his ideas on education. Plato says that generally education is the duty of state. A state should provide education to its citizens, and he divides citizens according to their nature. Okay, their citizens include say businessmen people, okay, military individuals, and philosopher king, and all of them are educated. Among them, philosopher king is highly educated, who controls rest of the classes and citizens, right? Now, if we see the ideas given by Plato, Plato will certainly say that philosopher king is more knowledgeable than any other individual in the society because he is more educated. This is not always true, okay? Because philosopher king, what he prescribed education for philosopher king, may not know various social activities or social dogmas or social practices and so on and so forth. But even an ordinary man can know so many things from his or her own life experience. Quickly, I'll give you an example of a movie, that is Slumdog Millionaire. If you see, there is a character in that movie who won a handsome prize in KBC game. In that movie, he was not educated. The kid was not educated, but he answered almost all the questions. Not almost, he actually answered all the questions. Now, he was not educated, but he learned so many things from his life experience. So we have to admit that he was a knowledgeable person. To some extent, he had a logical mind as well. Logical mind to learn something. So here, to gain knowledge, there is no need for anyone to be in any good university and so on and so forth, but to be knowledge seeker. So our aim in this society should be more on knowledge seeking than to be educated. Ultimately, if you are in a university, you will be educated, you will get degrees, you will get admission in various other courses wherever you want, but acquiring knowledge is more important, and that is what universities are made for, or colleges or schools are made for. So knowledge is something which is essential part of our life, and we simply do not need any formal institution to have knowledge. Our life always teach us so many things, like painful moment or say happy moment. So we learn from life. Now, what is knowledge system? See, these are two different things. One is knowledge, another one is system. We have discussed knowledge, and if we discuss knowledge system, so we can say to know or to hold something in one's mind as true or being what it purport to be implies a sound logical or factual basis is knowledge system. In other words, to be convinced of something, of some ideas, of some theories. To be convinced is knowledge system. If you are convinced with some ideas, with some theories, then you are part of that knowledge system. Knowledge generally refers to the fact or condition of knowing something with familiarity gained through experience or association. Accordingly, what is known is that which is generally recognized. So this is the entire discourse of knowledge system, where entire focus is on acquiring knowledge. Okay. Now, if we talk about other aspects, then we can say that knowledge system is always organized, okay, structured, and it is a dynamic process. Why? Because we always learn so many things. Always, even if today, nowadays, for the past 42 days, it is lockdown. This very lockdown is giving us certain knowledge. You may experience it. Even if you are not being educated by locking yourself in your home, but you are gaining knowledge of various things. Okay, so this is the beauty of knowledge. Now, if we say that if it is organized, structured, and dynamic process, then it will generate and represent content, components, classes, or say any other things which we experience, right? So knowledge system is always a dynamic process. It is structured and organized. Always, I'm saying, because we learn always. Okay, we get knowledge always from various sources. Okay. Now, if we try to understand types of knowledge, we have to cover point number 1, which we have discussed in our organized, structured, and dynamic process wala stuff, that is generating and representing content, components, classes. This is first type of knowledge. Second, domain specific or characterized by domain relevant features, maybe consumer or user or anyone else. Okay. Third, it is always reinforced by a set of logical relationships that connect the knowledge, the content of knowledge, to its value or utility. Fourth, it is enhanced by a set of interactive processes that enable the evolution, revision, adaptation, and advancement of knowledge. And last, subject to the criteria of relevance, reliability, and quality. So in education system, we will always have criteria of relevance, reliability, and quality. This is knowledge system. Now, what are the other types of knowledge system? See, I'll begin with number 1, that is declarative knowledge. Okay, what is declarative knowledge? Declarative knowledge is a branch campus setting, generally offers through a unique perspective into the application of knowledge areas in leadership. Okay, so within the area of declarative knowledge, the question which arrives are that how students describe their educational experience within a university of, say, indigenous university or any other university, whether it is in Europe or in Western university. Now, many of you might have come from, say, some other states of India. Someone would be from Assam, someone would be from say Haryana or Uttar Pradesh or Bihar or Rajasthan or Punjab or say Tamil Nadu or any other South Indian state or Kashmir, and so on and so forth. There are various states. So some of you would be from outside Delhi, who very first time in your first semester realized what Delhi look alike. Earlier you used to be in your hometown. Now see, if we talk about the challenges which you faced while entering in Delhi University first time from your own state, you as a student had understood, if I'm not wrong, that Delhi University would offer you a number of benefits, okay, beyond what you may get from say your own university in your state, and you somehow found Delhi University to be more adaptable and more prestigious and so on and so forth. This is one criteria. Suppose after your graduation you are selected for say Harvard University or Cambridge or Oxford or say any other university in Netherlands or Germany or say Singapore and so on and so forth, anywhere in China, and so there are various universities. What you will realize that, and what would be the purpose? The same purpose which led you to leave your hometown to get education in Delhi University. So you will try to move out from Delhi University to some other universities which you think that it is better than DU, okay, or any other university of India. You will get more exposure. You left your state, you got admission in Delhi University to have exposure, and you want to be in some other university abroad to be able to have to be more knowledgeable, okay, more debatable, and so on and so forth, and more dependable. So this is your criteria. Now if we again discuss the other reasons, you may say that in Western universities we will have good knowledge, good education material, better teachers or better infrastructure or campus life, various culture, and so on and so forth. After doing your course, you will have good chances to be in a job, okay, of your choice. So Western degree or European degree or say degree from any other recognized university which is not which is abroad, you will always prefer that university because of its recognition, and you want to attain knowledge, okay, and everyone knows that the value of any degree from abroad is always appreciated. Now in this say declarative knowledge, generally students are expected to perform at a certain level with high expectations and with comparative language skills. For example, if you are in Delhi, comparative language skills will, what does it mean? You will learn Hindi because many people speak Hindi here, from Sabji Wala to say MP, MLAs and various people. You will find Hindi is a common language here. So you will learn Hindi if you are not from Hindi belt. So that is one thing. You will be taught in English medium, okay, and English has been your medium of instruction since your childhood. So there are so many students in Delhi or in UP or in Bihar, those who had their medium English. So they will have an extra advantage always, that they know Hindi and English simultaneously. So you have to learn Hindi. So here you are actually becoming one who knows Hindi, one who knows English, and one who knows his or her local or indigenous language. Okay. So here language plays a comparative role or important role in this form of knowledge system. Generally, if suppose you do not know Hindi and lecture is given entirely in Hindi, so you won't be able to easily understand the concept and various debates, and you will ask your teachers to speak the language which you understand, okay, or easily understand. Simply, if we try to be more debatable here, your saying of this, that you want lecture in English because Hindi is not your language, it simply means that your social, personal, okay, and family culture, okay, is changed now in a new city, in a new state. Within the context of this, you will realize that your culture is mixing with some other culture. For example, if you are from Bengal, your culture is mixing with Delhi culture. If you are from, say, Assam, your Assamese culture is mixing with Delhi culture, and so on and so forth, those who are non-Hindi speaking belt. So you are actually contributing in enhancing the cultural values and norms of that particular region. If suppose you are from Delhi, you are having admission in, say, some Western universities, then you will realize that this English language skill, only English language skill, is necessary condition for you to get admission, and all lectures would be given in English only in Western universities or in some European university, or say Oxford or Cambridge and Netherlands or Singapore and any other universities abroad. So here you will again contribute your culture mixing with the culture of the university where you are getting admission, okay. So that particular mixture of culture will make you educated on the one hand and knowledgeable on the other. And this declarative knowledge always put emphasis on introduction of people from various culture. It wants every university to be highly inclusive in nature, okay. And that is why in DU you can see that mediums are in Hindi and in English, so that you can easily understand various concepts and so on and so forth. In Western universities, it is mandatory that you have to learn English, okay. So these are their criteria. Now, what is the main purpose of these universities, okay, who try to give you knowledge in some language Okay, because any university want you to achieve your goal. Number one, what is your goal? That is to be intellectually sound, to be ethical, to be social, and to be professional and educational in various fields of your social life. This particular development always demands greater emphasis, and this greater emphasis should be placed on intellectual development versus training of students. For example, importance of I'm telling you the difference between intellectual development versus intellectual training. An example is importance of knowing how to think and what to think. So importance of knowing how to think versus what to think should be the criteria of your getting education in any university which is not in your domain. Okay, now sorry for this. Now generally, if we talk about this declarative approach, it is always consistent with progression of leadership. Obviously, it is derived from the skills from students to expert. The entire goal of this entire exercise is to provide students with factual, it means evidence-based knowledge, and the opportunity to apply this information to help them improve and develop their leadership skills and knowledge. So this declarative knowledge has this particular intention or ideas. Now, second one is procedural knowledge. See, there are various students who attend again universities outside their state or universities abroad, Western universities or European, and so on and so forth. So here this Western model, okay, do not have extensive experience in formal learning settings where students may be asked to interact in mixed gender groups. Okay, say for example, in India as well, there are various universities which simply do not allow for this mixed gender group interaction. A reason may be many. We are not going into the details of all these things. Now, see, this is something many students find new, that they are interacting with various genders, okay, or the gender which is not their own, from their own gender. For example, male should always talk to male, female should always talk to female. So there is a intergender dialogue, okay, in say Delhi University, okay, or in various other universities of India. But there are certain universities again which does not allow students to interact on the basis of different gender. So we criticize this. Suppose in DU, or in, since all of you are Delhi University student, in DU or in Western University, if you visit, this new learning process, okay, and this new method of interacting with mixed gender group, if you are asked, then many thinkers say that there must be change in the study habits and approaches of learning if you interact with various genders. Okay, so or you create various learning groups which is not gender biased, then this procedural knowledge says that you always develop the habits of developing knowledge, and you always develop various approaches to learning because of various people in your group, and you interact beyond gender gap. Now, here you will learn that whatever idea you have or whatever idea you carry is not or may not be always the best idea. You have to listen the idea of other students as well or other people as well. That process enhance your knowledge and your critical thinking capacity. All of us have critical mind, and critical thinking capacity can always be enhanced through this process according to the proponents of procedural knowledge. Now, for some people, this entire exercise is as simple as doing homework, just like in your school days. For others, many people will say that it will take a long time. It will take a long time to see a kind of change in acquiring knowledge among various students. Both of them are right, because sometimes many students find it very easy to cope up with other students and other genders and so on and so forth, or other groups, and many students find it slightly difficult to understand various ideas of other gender or other students, and they perceive their own ideas to be correct. Okay, here what various thinkers perceive that experience. Okay, what is experience? Experience is you always gain experience from your family, from your society, okay, and from your education. These three are the main criteria to gain experience. Okay, now if we take this experience, you always learn and unlearn. You will always keep those ideas away which are not democratic. Okay, you will not certainly follow those ideas, even if your family or your society is saying that those ideas are right. But once you have developed a knowledgeable mind, a logical mind, you will start questioning that idea. In foreign university, you will always have that critical mind. With this critical mind, you will find yourself in an easy room to understand and to accept various ideas and to analyze them and to make or draw any conclusion, resulting development in your knowledge. But if you blindly believe the teaching of your family, I'm not saying teaching of family is wrong, but there are various things which our family teaches can be challenged. Okay, or if those various things you do not challenge and you blindly believe that idea, or if you blindly believe the societal ideas which are followed by majority of the people, then you are actually closing the doors of acquiring knowledge, right? Closing the doors. whether in India or abroad. You can be anywhere, but you are actually closing the doors of acquiring knowledge. Say for example, let me give you small example, then we will jump to our next theory. What a girl should wear nowadays, this question is very much prominent. Many people, you will find it's their choice, they can wear anything. Okay, many people will say no, they have to follow the traditional dress like salwar kameez and sari and so on and so forth. The dress which is entirely made to cover the respect of or dignity of a women. So dress for men has a different meaning in this society, and dress for women has entirely a different meaning. Now if you challenge that notion, because problem is not with the girls but with the boys, so you are actually trying to acquire knowledge. Okay, but if you believe in this, you are actually following the majority people who believe in this idea, thereby closing the doors to acquire different knowledge on this particular issue, because you will always believe that this is the absolute truth, and you will have various reasons for it. So this is procedural knowledge. Next is contextual knowledge. This is our second last. Now generally students in the branch campus setting offered many examples about contextual situations that they face while attending universities outside of their state, which we just discussed, or abroad. If you go abroad, and I want all of you to be to be in some European or say some Western universities. Now if you see generally what we find according to contextual knowledge thinkers, they say that students spoke regarding navigating family concerns about being in a mixed learning environment and whether female students would be safe. This is their major concern in Western universities as well, in a university which is outside your district or your state. Okay, so that question will disturb us, the safety wala question. Many students had to cope up with the personal cultural adjustments, including how society and religion influence their overall experience attending a Western or say any other universities which is not in their state but somewhere else. Now the idea of people not interacting with others, especially for the girls, between girls and boys, generally it is assumed and it is believed that girls do not try to interact with boys. It is a perception of the society. Why? Because of family pressure, because their parents simply do not like them to talk with male students. Okay, it is family issue again, because parents simply do not like it, and this is the idea where parents do not like their daughters to talk to male students is something which which no university can change. Okay, because this is your family matter, and if parents are saying no talking with boys, what can university do here in this entire discourse? So this contextual knowledge is saying that various universities, whether it is Western University or indigenous university like RDU or JNU or say Hyderabad Central University or Lucknow or various other universities, they should introduce new ways for students to address which is related to conventional belief, okay, that for example, girls should not talk to boys, okay. It is found within society. So they have to taught in a new way. They have shown, or they have to get something new, that how this idea is not wrong. I'm not saying this idea is completely wrong. I'm saying how this idea is not right. Sorry, not wrong. How this idea is not right. I'm not saying wrong. I'm saying how this idea is not right. Okay, and should not be acceptable, because maintaining cultural identity is a different thing, and talking to other gender is entirely a different discourse. You may talk for notes, you may talk to have a healthy discussion on any class or any lecture, okay, and you can have any opportunities, like you can talk about any opportunities like after graduation, what you are going to do and what are your plans and so on and so forth. You can discuss it. So here you have to challenge the barriers of your family environment. You have to talk to your parents, because university simply can do nothing here. Now in last para, contextual knowledge is provided and taught through various opportunities for doing field-based projects, okay, studying abroad, and exchanges with other services which are in academics, okay. Through this contextual knowledge, students are exposed to not only different form of leadership and their application, but also important factors such as society and cultures. In this part, society and culture, you challenge various norms and practices and values which are not democratic through this contextual knowledge. Just like we gave example of boys versus girls, okay. So here the responsibility is on you, and rest of the knowledge you will automatically gain through field survey and by studying abroad and exchange with other students, and so on, and exchange of ideas with other students, and so on and so forth. So contextual knowledge demand such things from students. Now last one is somatic knowledge. Within the somatic knowledge area and learning experience, generally students offered examples of how they cope with new physical and emotional demands within their learning environment. I'm not going to repeat the same thing like from your state or Western universities. See, there are many students who always seek a safe and comfortable zone, or say environment that is respectful for their culture and religion, okay. They always try to project their culture and their religion to be more inclusive, more acceptable, and more better in respect of various other cultural values and norms and so on and so forth, history and blah blah blah. They always also work through family concerns and the desire for parents to give them the freedom to choose their own program of study. So here in this somatic knowledge, okay, we have slightly inclusive parents who actually accept that, okay, this is your choice, please study. Generally, in various societies, what we see, parents impose their ideas on students. What should they study? And slowly students develop those ideas as their uh, interest, okay, but their interest may be something else which students was not allowed to seek or to look into. Now, if many among you talk to your parents, they would certainly say that they don't have any objection if you have been selected for a program of study in a good university, whether in India or abroad. They will simply say yes. But many parents would object and may not agree on a mixed environment to study in. See, if you have got admission in Delhi University and you are not from Delhi, like me, I'm also not from Delhi, it means your parents simply do not have any objection, okay. But there would be some students who simply could not get admission here just because their parents objected, or they were against their leaving home to some other, or say distant university, and so on and so forth. Distant university means there is a long distance between their state and Delhi. In my case, when I was trying to get graduation, my father opposed that I should not be in Delhi University because I am too young to be eligible or to be fit to get admission from Delhi University. For him, I was too young. Now, that was his stand, and I had to respect that stand. And there are so many students who had to respect their parents' stand. So, here the reason may be security concerns, the reason may be cultural concerns, the reason may be fear, okay, or the parents simply do not want their kids to study in a say other university because of mixed environment. Now, the freedom to choose a particular program of study within a mixed gender environment offered by the university has also influenced some students to reassess their own belief patterns, okay. Traditional gender roles are still respected. I'm not saying that traditional gender roles are completely destroyed because of this university system, whether it is in India or in any other university abroad. Traditional gender roles are still respected, but students continue to explore new ways of interacting with each other within cultural boundaries. Generally, female students have found success in finding leadership role within say student government, and most female students noted the shared classroom experience as a positive benefit for this continued partnership. Now, the faculty and teaching staff many a times believe that declarative, procedural and contextual knowledge alone is not sufficient to be an adaptive learner and leader and to be knowledgeable. In addition, uh, to acquire knowledge, they simply say they need some more skills and effective skills. What is that skill? Last last is discussion. So the impact of these four knowledge areas of leadership or acquiring knowledge has unique applications to both of learning environment described previously. Just we have discussed all these things. If someone, for example, asks you to take on leadership role in your family or in your community by choosing to attend a university system that in many cases is very different from your own cultural and religious upbringing of family or social environment, you would be challenging your own way of thinking and established norms in order to investigate knowledge areas, thereby challenging many norms in family and society. It will further enhance the culture. So that discussion wala part actually incorporate all the four types, and it says that all the four types which we have just discussed are essential part to acquiring knowledge. Okay. Now, since this is our last point, let me ask you one last question. Can I come to the class by wearing, say, any lady's uniform, say sari or any other uniform? Many of you will say, no sir. Why? Because I am a male and I have to wear the clothes which are made for males only. This is our societal culture. This is our family norms taught by family and society. This dress is for male and this dress is for female. This work is for male and that work is for female, and so on and so forth. Trust me, there is nothing wrong if I wear a sari or say suit, salwar, or any other ladies jeans or ladies t-shirt, and I come to teach. Why? Because if we include all these knowledge system, it will always say that my work is to teach and not to focus on what I wear. The focus of a student should be on what I speak, okay, and not what I wear, right? So that is something where we challenge various notions, various cultural practices, and try to acquire knowledge. Okay, so this is entire discourse of knowledge system, and I hope you understand it clearly. It is already 53 minutes or 54 minutes lecture. I hope you will listen the lecture. Okay, and we will have discussion on over it. Okay, so stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Okay, good night and take care.